Get that out of there. Get that out of there. Get that out of there. What's up, people? What's cracking? We good? We live. What's happening? How y'all doing? What is going on, my people, my people, my people? We in the house. We are in the house. Yeah. Freedom Friday on the Tim Black Show. How's my people doing? How's everybody going on their Friday? Damn, that's loud. That seemed pretty loud. You awake? Drunk already? What's up, man? What's going on, y'all? My name is Tim Black. This is the Tim Black Show, and we are live on a Friday. And I'm gonna tell y'all something, man. I got freaked out, right? I'm ready to go launch in my computer. Like, I was prepping on another set, on another computer. So I hadn't been on this. This is a separate PC that I live stream from, right? So I go to that computer and it's got a message, an error. And it's like, boot device can't be found. I'm like, boot device can't be found. It said boot device, Control Alt Delete, boot device cannot find boot sector. Boot to put in insert media or something, right? So I'm like freaking out. I'm like, okay, well, I'm not gonna say freaking out because brothers aren't supposed to say freaking out. I was like, damn, man, what's up, man? What's going on, man? Nah, God, nah, Lord, no. I started singing Negro spirituals. Now, actually, I was real calm about it, right? Because I used to work in IT. I said, before we do anything, we're going to reboot. That's what we're going to do. We ain't going to trip. I was side-eyeing the computer guys, though. I was like, don't play with me. I'm just getting back in the groove with my show, man. Nobody going to want to hear this. I got technical problems. You know what I'm saying? So it didn't come back. I was like, okay, so I jumped on my phone, I unplugged this and let it sit, then I reboot again. Meanwhile, I looked up the error. There was a YouTube video and it had the exact error message and it was perfect for my problem, right? And it had, unbelievably, the worst music playing during this video. I mean, that's what it got. It was the worst, horrible disco tech. Do the hustle. This shit's playing, but it's not that song though, because that song's all right. That would be kind of nostalgic. I remember my mom playing that shit. But this was like horrible. All cymbals and cowbells, no bass, no bass line, no drum, no kick, no snare, no soul, no nothing. But do you know that video had exactly what I was looking for? It fixed my problem in 30 seconds. Because when you go to YouTube, they got all this information and it's very useful. But you got to sit there while they try to stretch the video. Well, so if this is the problem that you're experiencing, say right here, this will be exactly what we're going to solve. But first, let me tell you about this thing. I had a dog, and the dog used to run around, and then he would do this, and he would bury the bone in the yard. And my grandmother used to always tell us that this, and if you don't like this and don't like that, I'd be like, man, get to it. They get paid per the second of delaying the facts. So I strongly appreciate the person who put together this resolution for my problem. And the resolution, if you ever get this, don't boot device can't be found or boot sector can't be found, you reboot the PC, hold Control Alt Delete. Hold Control Alt Delete, and it'll come back. I mean, it came back for me. And I was like, wow, that worked. But here's the metaphor for it, right? Which is something I got to always tell myself. There's something that the Democratic Party doesn't understand. It's probably something the Republican Party doesn't understand, but since I've never, ever voted Republican, I can't tell you. But it's definitely not something that the Democratic Party doesn't understand. Something I'm trying to become better at. You feel what I'm saying? This is Tim Black, old man Tim Black dropping some jewels. Substance will win every day. Yeah, man. All that other stuff don't matter, man. It didn't even matter that the music was annoying. I mean, it mattered, but it didn't matter enough for me to leave. I had a problem. They had a solution, and it fixed my problem. That's not what you get with the Democratic Party. Oh, you don't get that. Now you get the look at Kamala. She could dance. She could pop lock. Bill Clinton could play the sax. Kente Cloth. Kente Cloth. Big words. The fulfillment of the heteronormative, conducive language of the perceptive and the interchangeability of the infrastructure of the divine intervention of the cisgender pronoun that meets with the intersectionality of the Marxist. You get all that shit. Ooh, diversity, equity. People holding hands, skipping. We shall overcome. Mary J. Pittman on the $50 coin. You get all this shit. No substance. It's called performative. It's called bait and switch. It's called a gut. It's called a lie. And we forget that sometimes. So sometimes I do a video and I want to entertain people and I put all these bells and whistles. Be like, I know people be like, you ain't even have to do all that, dog. Just tell me how bad Biden is. Just tell me how bad Biden is. You know what I'm saying? Keep it real. Say what I'm thinking. All that, throw it in the air, spin around, catch it, underhand grip, all that, super editing. Because I notice that people don't care about that much. Yeah, man, I put time. I think like I want to be an expert editor. And then I go watch like a Willie D video, right? He live. He have a blank wall behind him. He be like this. Put your thumbs up. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? It's Willie D coming at you. Hit the Cash App. Tell me where you're coming from. Oh, you just gave me $20. That's a good brother. It's Willie D. He got 1 million subscribers. He just, no more talk. 1 million subscribers. I got all this shit, stuff flying around, sets, lights, Premiere Pro, Final Cut Pro, Cat Pro. Really got a webcam. Cat Williams said at one point in the interview that Willie D had with Cat Williams right after Cat Williams did that record-setting 60 million view video interview with Shannon Sharp. At one point in the interview, towards the end of it, Cat Williams looked at Willie D and he said, Willie D, it's been very interesting talking to you. And I want you to know you are by far the worst interviewer in the history of interviewers. None of your questions were good questions at all. I want you to know that. Willie was like, hit the Cash App. Tell me where you're coming from. Ghetto boys, get the dough. So my point is, guys, focus on what matters, and what matters is the focus. That's it. And I'm trying to get better at that myself, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't have to do all that. I could have just went straight to the show and been like, Tiffany Henyard is going to jail. You ought to be like, very good. But I got to be myself. So I'm trying to mesh being myself with trying to put out solid content. I do a monologue because I can do a monologue. You know what I'm saying? A little something, something. Just to kind of break the ice and get the juices going. You know what I'm saying? But definitely, folks, um, we're gonna have a good show tonight. We're gonna have a great show actually because we got great content. I got great content for you, and that's why you came here. I think you came for the content. Yeah, I think you came for the content. I think you came for this. So we're gonna drop the anvil. I want to say what's up to my people on YouTube, my people on Twitter. Thank you for tuning in. My moderators, Buck Bewley, also Sign of the Times is in the house. Thank you so much for moderating. You don't have to do it, but I appreciate it. I know you got better things to do. I appreciate you spending your time with your brother Tim Black. To the people that are new to the show, we do this every Wednesday and Friday. And now we're going to add a Monday because I'm getting back in the groove of things. So every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we will bring you a live show. We have to, bring it to you on YouTube. Become a member at the jointimblack.com. Become a member for exclusive first shot releases. Like you get the sneak peeks, right? So that's what we're gonna do. And what I'm gonna start doing when I have interviews with folks, and we have a portion of the show, I'm wondering how I can do it. I'm trying to get exclusive content. So typically, when I have an interview with folks, we talk offline before we talk online. But hey, I could be like, yo, I'm gonna ask you a question I'm not gonna ask. Everybody gonna get so I'm gonna come up with things. So to become a member of the Tim Black VIP Club, go to jointimblack.com, $5 a month, starting at $5 a month. And I want to thank everybody that's already done that, man. Thank y'all for supporting independent media, for supporting this independent media. Wow. I see we got some folks in the house. Fight the evil. Fight the evil. Yeah. Adam, what's up, Adam? How you doing, fam? Adam Berger's in the house. Haven't seen him in a while. Yeah. Jenny says, what Jenny say? Jenny said some stuff, man. Jenny said, woohoo. Like I said, God will sing you the real people for sure. That's what I'm saying, Jenny. That's what I'm saying. That's what's up. And everybody not for everybody. You know what I'm saying? And I had to realize that, like, all black people not the same. Sometimes we get trapped into thinking we all the same, but it's different types of black people. It's like it's different types of Asian folks, different types of white folks, different types of Latinos. Everybody's different, man. It's different by region. It's different by religion. It's different by belief systems. Different by class. It's all types of differences. The only thing that kind of connects us is the experience of racism and shit like that. And some of us kind of brought our way out of that for a lot. They kind of detached from it, and that's where that Negro wake up call come from. That's when that the wake up call come in. Oh, that's what they've been talking about all this time. Yeah, that's what that is. That's what that is. That's blackness right there. That's that racism on your ass. Yeah, man. But yeah, man. So I'm glad anybody could watch my show, watch what I do. Shout out to my brother Sam Rollins at the Washington Informer. Sam did an article. We did an interview today. Did an article covering Dr. Cornel West's campaign, and he asked me some questions. It was really dope. Give it up for Sam Rollins of the Washington Informer. Follow me on Twitter or X, and you'll see him. Check out that article. It's a great article, man. Good job putting it down, my brother. Putting it down on my Twitter X. Washington Informer for my DMV folks. What else, guys? What else? So topics for the night. So y'all know why you should stay tuned, because you got other stuff you could do. Tiffany Henyard, the mayor of Dalton. She got subpoenaed. We're gonna talk about that because it's getting real. It's getting real in Dalton. Caitlin Clark is the big time WNBA. Now she just got drafted, and she's a big deal. And there's a lot of controversy surrounding Caitlin Clark in Iowa. Right? We're gonna talk about formerly of Iowa. We're gonna talk about her. Okay, she got a big deal. What else? Biden. Joe Biden. Joe Biden. What's happening with him and black voters is something to behold, man. We got to talk about this now. We've been talking about it. We're gonna get back at it because I got some news to update you on regarding Biden and the black vote. Okay, we're gonna get there. We're gonna start the show though. I want to start this off with something crazy, man. No, a man literally set himself on fire up there in New York City, outside the courthouse. The Trump, where they're having the Trump trial. His name is Max Azzarello. Max Azzarello. Now, at the time when I first caught this story about 4 hours ago, well, two and a half hours ago, but it happened like this afternoon. I just didn't know about it. Anyway, he was still alive at that time. I don't know if he's still alive. He was in critical condition. I think they induced him into a coma because he was so burnt. His body was so third-degree burns, I think, from the self-immolation. He set himself on fire. Man ignites himself at Trump trial. Shocking New York City courthouse scene. Fam, my people, bruh, sister, bruh. Now, what's happening with this? One of the first things I want to do is get out in front of it and tell you straight up, man, this was not because he loved Trump. He's going against the system. Like, I hate this thing, they're doing this to Trump, and this is my defined moment. I want to say that Trump is my guy, and blah, blah, blah. Like, that's not why. But I'm going to tell you what the reason was. If you think it's that, you need to stop watching MSNBC and stop watching CNN, because that's when you get that mindset. You think everything is Trump. This ain't really that, okay? But I'm going to play a clip of my man, Max Azzarello, that he put out on social media shortly before he did he set himself on fire. Check it out. Where you at, Max? Damn it, Max, where are you? We'll just get it this way.
Start a fucking revolution. Start a fucking revolution. Start a fucking revolution. You've got nothing to lose.
Yeah, I forgot, man. I forgot my man's.
Start a fucking revolution. Start a fucking revolution. Start a fucking revolution. You've got nothing to lose.
All right, now, my brother. I guess we need to go this way for this to look right. Max has problems. Max Azzarello is an investigative researcher, set himself on fire outside of the Trump trial in New York City as a form of protest against what he believed is an impending apocalyptic fascist world coup, orchestrated by the government and our allies. The act of self-immolation was intended to draw attention to his claims of a totalitarian conspiracy. A totalitarian con. The incident has sparked discussions and reactions from various individuals online, with some expressing support for Azzarello's message and others questioning the validity of his claims. Folks, this man, he may be a lot of things, but a coward and a flake is not one of them. This brother was very committed to whatever the hell he was doing. Now, I don't even like being standing too close to the grill when I'm barbecuing. So this ain't for me. I'm going to burn something up. I'm going to burn some charts up. I'm going to burn some eardrums up with this microphone. You ain't going to find me doing nothing else, nothing close to this. But I will say it's hard to be dismissive of someone who will go to the extreme. I mean, most people would not get a hangnail for something that they believe in. Real talk. And I guess that's the broader point I want to just get to, man. Let's see if we can, there are people that are calling him kooky, and we do that in America. We got words. We use our words of violence. But the truth of the matter is, man, there are a lot of people in America that aren't willing to sacrifice. Let me say that again. The truth of the matter is there are a lot of people in America who are not willing to sacrifice a damn thing for anybody. They can't even go without a paycheck from CNN or MSNBC or Fox or Newsmax for 2 seconds in order to alert people to what's happening in the world. And then we have some people that are courageous for reasons we're beyond our recognition and comprehension. I don't know exactly what made Max do this. I know he's from Florida. His parents didn't even know he was here. He was born in 1987, which makes him, what, 40 years old? Less than that, right? 30s? 90, 30, 24, 34. Wow. Someone do it. 87 to 2024. Anyway, the point is, I guess you just add the 13 plus the 24. 37. Dude. But why? I don't know. He said why, Tim. He says a totalitarian kind. That's everybody getting together to have, I guess, total control. What would I know that is a governing philosophy, a way of governing people. Totalitarianism, where all the power is concentrated to the very top, a group of elites like run the shit. It don't sound crazy. Now, why would he go to New York and do it? Why is there any connection? Did he do it to stab back at Trump? Did he do it to show support for Trump? According to the manifesto, man, I read a document Seffi posted online. Now he's like calling out like Mark Cuban, Elon Musk, like he was going after all the rich. I don't think Trump really qualifies for that group of rich. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I mean, he ain't got Bezos money. But yeah, man, that happened. So I guess we'll find more as the time goes on. What I can't stand whenever there is something like this, one of the things that bother me, and it still does, frankly. When I first got on the internet, it really bothered me. People will take someone's death and like use it for whatever reason. I mean, capitalism is some dirty business, man. I mean, just taking a person and saying, but this is what happened, that would happen, this is why they did it. Have no facts, have no evidence, and don't care. Just to make money off of it. And same thing goes to politics. They do the same exact thing. People are taking this man's, and he's still alive. This he was last time I checked. He didn't hurt anybody. He didn't run towards anyone. He was not, like here in Maryland, we just had a high school student plan a mass shooting at his school. This Max didn't hurt him soul. Max says he's trying to alert the world, and since he knew the cameras are going to be in New York, he knew he could get media attention by doing it in New York. My thoughts go out to his parents, man, because as a dad, I know we don't control what our kids do. They didn't even know his son wasn't even in Florida. They had no idea the son was in New York. They're like, what the hell? What are you doing in New York? He did what? So us parents, man, we're often just as blindsided as the rest of the public. Anybody heard anything else about this? Because it's crazy. It's crazy. And but whether I don't think his message is crazy though. That's what's I want to be clear. It's crazy what we're hearing, but it's not the point behind it. What I don't agree with is the way he carried out the messaging. But I will say I don't disagree that money moves everything. I mean, come on, man. We know since Wu-Tang, cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money. Dollar bill, y'all. Come on. He's saying the elites, the big money interests run the world, and they're all in cahoots. Does that really seem strange? We got 5 With all the newscasters, all the news programs you hear, there's only 5 news companies. 5. 5 news companies control virtually all the news that's shared. And if you control the news, you control the narrative. And if you control the narrative, you can control the people. So if you want to really control a story, or manufacture a story, or tell a lie about a story, whatever, all you really got to do is be 5 news organizations and say, hey, we want it to be sold this way. Here goes our reality. So I'm not going to call Max. I'm not going to be dismissive of Max Azarillo. Once again, he didn't hurt anybody but himself. And that's, I can't imagine what that's like. There's actual footage of this, but I ain't put it on my channel and get myself knocked out, getting this channel taken down. But there's actual footage of people like, and that, before we move on, guys, in the original clip, I don't know what this guy was doing, what Max was doing, but people knew he was about to do something. Maybe he announced it. I'm about to set myself on fire because people are like, hey, there's one guy filming going, hey, police, this guy, he's about to set himself on fire. He's got some liquid. He's pouring on himself. Help. Help. Before it happened. Now, some people are saying, why didn't the guy who was filming it run over and stop him? I mean, he hadn't done it yet. I understand when somebody's on fire, you ain't trying to run over and necessarily lay hands on them. But the response rate, as you can see, was less than 2 minutes. I mean, people came with fire extinguishers to put out Max. And when I say on fire, now that's a fire. All right. Moving on. Crazy, guys. Our country's that jacked up, man, that people feel the only way to get out their message, only way to get attention to real issues is have to do something like that. That's crazy. That's the second time. T. Grove. It's so sad. It is very sad. It's very sad, T. Judges says planetary regime change is in order. Fighting the devil. 37 is still not in control of his own thoughts. Some kid said, my kid's age. I feel you. Yeah, man. Yeah, his name is Max Azarillo, my brother. Max Azarillo. I hope he recovers, and I would like to hear him tell his story. We just recently had someone do the same thing in regards to Palestinians, the Gaza genocide. And yes, that's what we call it here. We don't call it a war. If the people you fight don't have uniforms, it ain't a war, bro. All right. Let's go to Joe Biden. That's the big money. Let's go with big money, right? Let's go with big money for $200. Come on. Who's losing the black vote? Joe Biden's losing the black vote. It is becoming atrocious, folks. It's really looking bad for Joe Biden right now, man. It is horrible. I'm looking at a Wall Street Journal poll that just was released last week, and it shows that black voters are moving from Biden in 7 swing states. I want you to hear this number because this number is really a big number right here. 30. 30% of black men are saying that they will vote for Donald Trump in this year's election. That is up from 12%. No, was it 12? Yeah, I think it was 12% in the previous election. And 11% of black women, which goes unreported, that is up from 5%. So that doubled. The amount of black women that say they're voting for Trump has doubled. The amount of black men has 7, 12, 24. It's more than doubled, almost tripled the number of black men. And quiet as it's kept, Latinos are doing the same thing. In fact, Trump Typically, the Latino vote is like 45 to 55. That's looking like it's going to flip. So usually Latinos vote 45% for Democrats, no, 55% for Democrats, 45% for Republicans. That looks like it's going to flip for the Latino folks. So American politics may be on the verge of a racial realignment. Everyone's talking about it. This is what it looks like, shows Donald Trump within striking distance of a majority among Hispanic voters, as much as 20% of the black vote. Overall, I think it will end up being closer to 30. But I think the fact that black men will be around 30, black women around the low teens, I think when you factor that in, it'll be around 20 something. So I don't think this is too far off, is what I'm telling you. Polls show little change since 2020 among white voters. They're pretty much doing what they did, which is most white voters moving with Trump or staying Republican. Remember, most white voters vote Republican. That's what people got to understand. Mr. Trump will almost certainly win. If it doesn't, even if a modest realignment happens, Mr. Trump, President Trump will win. If the black vote moves, if the black vote moves even a little bit, because there is very little margin for error. In fact, people are getting this twisted. Donald Trump got the most votes of any Republican in the last 50 years in 2020. He's on pace to double that. How can he lose if he doubles that? How can he go up with Asians, Latinos, and black voters and still lose? Some people say, Tim Black, man, they're cooking the books. Ain't that much cooking in the world for them to cook those books if it stays that way. Does that mean I'm happy? No, I'm not happy about it. I want to see Dr. Cornel West. I support independent parties. I did it in 2016. But see, I got to keep repeating that because we live in such a binary world, man. People think, if you ain't this, you that. If you ain't this, you that. Nah, man. Just because I'm fed up with the Democratic Party, let me put it this way, guys. And if all you did is go to KFC, if all your family ever did is go to KFC every Sunday, KFC, you may be tired of KFC. If they didn't take you to churches, which I do think is probably better. Last time I had churches, it was pretty. Why I got to use the chicken reference? Let's not do that. Pizza Hut. If you had Pizza Hut on Friday nights, that's all you ever ordered, pizza. Then you said, oh, let's go get Little Caesars. Ugh. Okay, but you did it. That don't even taste like real food. You want to try something different, right? That's why you're doing it. But this analogy is not working for me. What I'm trying to say is, folks, I'm very critical of the Democratic Party because that's what we've been served. We've been served that. For some reason, that's what my people have been voting. We know the reason, because the realignment of the parties back in the late 60s, after the Southern strategy was implemented, things got out of whack. And black voters who were running away from policies, we wanted civil rights policies, and that's what we were looking for. We didn't realize we were integrated into a burning building. Anyway, the point is this. For whatever reason, we could quibble about why people did what they did, but black community has voted Democrat for the last 40, 50 years. Every election, overwhelming, not just by 5 points or 10 points, or even 20 points. I could deal with that. 50 points. No, I'm sorry. I can deal with 50 points. 90 points. We've been voting Democrat at the margins of 90 to 95% every election. Donald Trump got 8%, 12% of the black vote, and it was like, wow, he set records. No one had ever done that before. Not John McCain, not Mitt Romney, not Bush. So what do we have? Both Bushes? But some of us just think if you don't rock with the Democrats, you must be going with the Republicans. And that's not the case. I'm with Dr. Cornel West. That's the Independent Party, the Justice for All Party. It's a brand new party. Okay? I did it one time. I voted the Green Party. There are other parties that exist. That's for people that don't understand that you can be critical of the Democrats but still not be a Trump supporter. Back to the article, guys. Black men support for Trump in battleground states has increased by 18% from 2020, with 30% planning to vote for him, according to a recent poll by the Wall Street Journal. This is not according to Tim Black. This is according to the Wall Street Journal. I was watching a video of Pod Save America, which are a bunch of Bernie bros who worked in the Obama White House. They had a special segment where they were having a conversation. Well, one of the Bernie bros is having a conversation with a brother who has a company, a strategist, a Democratic strategist organization, think tank. I don't know what they do. And he talks about why the sudden shift. Hear him out. I think he makes some good points.
That Joe Biden is the best option for them. The other third-party candidates, it's going to be voters. They are voters that are shopping for alternatives. The best way for Biden and for Democrats to prevent that erosion, again, it's not going to be by telling these men not to spoil for Biden. It won't be just by disqualifying the other third-party candidates. It's going to be by telling them why Joe Biden is the best option.
Right.
Because what these men are saying is, regardless of the outcome, I'm going to vote for who I think is best for me. Even if that means Donald Trump wins, even if that means Joe Biden loses, I'm going to vote for who I think is best. How do we convince them that Joe Biden is the best option for them? I think that the way to do that is by talking about the progress that he's made over the last 4 years, by connecting them with that progress.
Now, folks. This I agree with. I agree with what he's saying here. And though I'm very critical of the Pod Save guys, I like the fact they brought in a black consultant who has a company that looks at the data and he's polling people. He shows video content of him having a polling people in person. They ask questions, they answer the questions about who they're voting for and why. And based on his studies, what he's determined is that what's needed for the Democrats to do a good job here is they need to start answering questions. Stop being so damn defensive and explaining to people, hey, here's what we've been doing. Fine, explain that. My problem still is this. If you did so much, you wouldn't have to tell people what you did. Get what I'm saying? If you did so much, if so much was done, you wouldn't have to tell people what you did. The other problem is this. Based on the way our system runs, the way our system functions, there ain't much they're going to do. Because the reality is the Democratic Party is willing to lose before they give us what we want. That's what I've noticed about the Democratic Party. Because only a fool, it's sort of like you're in a relationship and she says, hey, I need you to have your ass home on the weekends. You can't be gone all weekend. What is wrong with you? You like, I got better things to do. So you gotta make a choice if you're gonna be home. Is she gone all the time? She ain't home. She gone all weekend with her girlfriends. You're like, hey, am I in a relationship alone? Where are you? Somebody gotta make a decision. Now, if you don't want to give up what you're doing on the weekends, well, somebody gotta make a decision. We don't just gonna sit there and complain and yell and throw stuff. Somebody has to be a grown-up. And what I'm saying is, we growing up. We are grown-ups, and we want to behave like grown-ups electorally. So we're saying, if the Democratic Party ain't going to come home, we're going to pack your bags, leave them outside. And we'll start dating who we want to date. And it may be we may date Dr. Cornel West. Well, that sounds crazy. We could date who we want to date. Let me not. Pause. You understand what I'm saying? So let me go back. I like what he said here because what I see is way too many Democratic operatives who don't understand that black people deserve advocacy and they deserve actual debate, actual arguments. not condescension and berating. You know what I'm saying? That's why I like this brother. That's why I'm playing this clip. I don't agree with this guy politically at all. I do not agree with the Pod Save guys politically. I just don't agree with them. But what I do like is that this guy said, you got to win over voters. Because what I see too much of, and I'm telling you, it's something in the slave mentality, folks, where black people feel like the only way they can talk to each other is talk down to each other. Now, I make jokes, but I'm not talking down about Shannon Sharpe. I'm not talking down about Willie D. I grew up with Willie D. Shannon Sharpe is amazing. What he's doing is amazing. It's not hate, brother. I saw your comment. It's not hate. It's jokes. Willie D's killing it. But what I see too much in the black community is when these talking heads come out, they condescend and talk down to black people. It's like, why aren't you voting for us? What's wrong with you? You don't know what's good for you, fool. I've never heard Lindsey Graham talk to white people like that in South Carolina. You hear Al Sharpton talk that way. You never hear Sean Hannity talk to constituents like they stupid. Oh, what's just stupid, silly, simple Simon stupids. Like Roland Martin talks to black voters. Like Roland Martin talks to black commentators. Anybody that disagrees with him. I never hear Sean Hannity talk that way. I don't even hear Tucker Carlson talk that way to white people that disagree with him in the white world. But it's something about black folks that they do this. So I'm going to go back to the clip. And I'm playing him only because I respect that we disagree politically, but at least he has an argument. At least he brought some receipts, and he's doing it in a respectful way. He's trying to explain what's going on and say, this is what we need to do. And what he's saying is, we don't need to bring Simone Sanders on TV to tell black people that they dumb. That's what they just don't get it. Or that bring on Jasmine Crockett, Representative Crockett, to come on and tell people you don't understand how Congress works. I haven't heard her go to white. Well, I guess she did do that. But I don't usually hear white Congress people going in front of white networks telling white people they don't get it. They don't understand how government works. So it's a little bit of coon in there. That's all I'm telling you. It's a little bit of talking down and some BS going on. Let me go back to the clip. I'm gone too long. Let me let my brother finish up his point of view.
From the last 4 years before making promises over progress that he's made over the last 4 years, by connecting them with that progress from the last 4 years before making promises over for the next 4 years.
Right, and because you Hit Strategies shared some more data with us where you found 52% of black voters say their lives have not improved since Biden became president, and 28% of those polled under the age of 50 say their lives have gotten worse. So yeah, of course, if you feel like things haven't gotten better for you since Donald Trump left office, why would you view him as a threat?
That's right. Look, and again, I am laser focused on this third of the black electorate that is, these cynical voters, the double haters, the folks that don't believe the system works for them. For folks like that, man, the hope is such a fragile thing, that when we inspire them, and you work for a guy that did a lot of this hope work, a lot of this convincing folks that they can change their system, that they could change their system. Well, once we do that and convince them that if they vote, things will get better for them, and they don't feel that material difference in their lives, it creates this hope deficit. Mm-hmm. And that is what Donald Trump is betting on. That's who he's talking to when he says, what the hell do you have to lose? It's folks that have felt that erosion of hope, that tried one way that, this is from a focus group of a voter who said to me, my hood didn't get any better under Obama. It didn't get any worse under Trump. So what does Biden have to do with me? That's the cynicism that Republicans and Trump are trying to lean into. And that's what we have to combat with the progress that has actually improved their lives.
Yeah, I find it. Give it up for that, guys. Give it up for that. So once again, I don't have a problem with people disagreeing. We could disagree about political strategy. We could disagree about what we think matters. But I appreciate an honest argument, an honest conversation. Because, see, people don't want to debate with me because they say Tim Black going to go at me. Tim Black going to go at me. He going to get loud. He going to get indignant. I might get a little wild and indignant, but I'm going to have an argument. But the truth is you don't have a solid argument. What this brother's saying makes sense. And the white guy had to admit it. Now, that's the pod save guy. The white guy's the pod save guy. The black guy's the guy who's a consultant. And he said a certain number of people feel like their lives are not getting worse under Trump and they're getting better under Biden. So what are we talking about? If you saw no material difference, what's all to talk about? I have a poll right now on my community tab. On my community tab, there's a poll right now. You can go to it. In that poll, I'm asking people, and a lot of my subscribers may have seen this poll pop up in your feed on YouTube, and I'm asking, how many of you care about the Trump trial in New York right now? And over 1,000 people have already responded. I only put it up a few hours ago. And only 10% of respondents say they really care about it. 70% of the viewers or the respondents either don't care at all, don't care, or are pissed off about hearing about Trump. 70% either don't care about the trial in New York or are pissed off and don't want to hear no more about Trump. They're tired of Trump. They had enough of hearing about Trump news and Trump updates. It is what it is. Because most people realize at some point, unlike what they're telling you in mainstream media, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. All this talk about Trump don't put food on the table. All this talk about what he did and what he didn't do, grab him by the change purse. All this talk for you know how long we've been talking about this? And people's lives ain't got better. People's lives haven't got better. Or worse. It didn't get radically better. If I gotta come tell you how much better it is to have me as a friend, I must not be too great a friend. The benefit of being friends with me should materialize in your life. Being my friend should be conversations, what value you get out of relationships. No one should have to come and explain to you why they're a good friend to have. A good friend should manifest in your life that way. Like anything else. You know? I had a doctor's appointment today. I went to the doctor, changing your lifestyle. Lifestyle changes will impact you this way. If you don't get an impact in your life about lifestyle changes, who would change your lifestyle? So what they want you to do, they expect you to make changes, vote for Biden, support Biden, but not have any changes in your life manifest. That's stupid shit. Nobody has time for that. And worse than that, we got to keep hearing about it. They keep talking about it. So, another reason why this is something that's underreported. One of the reasons why the black vote is moving towards Trump and the Latino vote is moving towards Trump because the Republican Party feels emboldened now. The Republican Party feels like it's worth investing in outreach. See, previously they weren't spending money trying to attract the black vote. Now they are because they see light at the end of the tunnel. It makes sense to them now. It's making sense to them now, so now they're spending the money. Now they are spending money and they're going after, they're being proactive. They're actually going. So I expect this. I told folks, I've been saying this. I've been saying it. We may be witnessing the end of the Democratic Party because if the Democratic Party cannot keep black voters and Latino voters in their back pocket, there will never, ever be another Democratic president. Now, why is that good or bad? Why do you want that, Tim? I don't necessarily want that. I want better policies. Whoever's going to bring those better policies is who I support. Right? So Dr. Cornel West is my candidate, and they have a brand new party. Right? Not perfect. Not perfect. But we ain't taking money from the military-industrial complex. We ain't taking money from AIPAC. We ain't taking money from all these dirty backroom deals. You know what I'm saying? So right off the bat, there goes some upsides. We ain't going to add to the military-industrial complex, mass incarceration. No, and we support reparations. Now, if that doesn't shut it down, all the naysay, all the talk, well, Dr. Molina is a co-founder of the Black Lives Matter. All that talk don't matter. I just told you. We support legalizing marijuana, which we say needs to be done on a national scale. I just told you we want to end mass incarceration. I just told you we support reparations. I just told you we want to end interventionist wars. I just told you we ain't gonna take no money from AIPAC. I just told I should just be able to stop there, because Biden and Trump ain't gonna do that. So anyway, off my soapbox. But I want to be clear about where I stand on this, because I think it matters. And you should be upfront and transparent. So the Democrats are in trouble, and rightly so. And look, guys, and if the Democratic Party were actually making lives better, not around the edges. Not around the edges. See, my problems with DEI are different from Charlemagne. And Charlemagne, I appreciate Charlemagne allowing Dr. West to shout out this show on this platform, and he ain't cut it out. I've been on shows where I make a positive comment about black folks, and they go edit it out. I've had that happen to me. They didn't edit out when Dr. West shouted out this show on the Breakfast Club. So I appreciate that. But I disagree with his foundational, the foundation of his lack of support for DEI. My problem with DEI don't go far enough. If it's only going to help those people that are in privileged positions, and it's not helping the working class black folks, what good is it? And if over 90% of the people that are in the positions to implement DEI are white men and white women, you don't even have diversity in your own ranks. Only like 3% of DEI directors and managers are black. 3%. So you can't even make your own company, your own organizations diverse. But you want a big pocket full of money, a bucket full of money to go in and tell other people how to be diverse? It don't make sense. And unfortunately, I don't work with Charlamagne to give them the right information. That's what you should have been talking about. But you were being a comedian, so I'll let it go. It was being a comedian, but what I'm saying is, these are my reservations. If you got programs that only help the Jack and Jill groups, it only helps the upper class of black folks who went to Harvards, who went to the Harvards, who went to Princeton's. Okay, they're black folks who went to Ivy League schools. If that's all we talking about, what we talking about? The masses of black people are not affected by this. It's like CRT. The masses of black people don't take CRT classes. People with master's degree take CRT classes. And we got us all talking about something that don't even impact our lives. Meanwhile, they're coming up with a law in Arizona that will allow cops to lock you up if you don't have your ID. So they're finding new ways to throw us in jail. But all I'm hearing you guys argue about with this, what's this guy, Coleman Hughes, running around talking about we need to all be colorblind. You know? Silliness that they want us focused on. And had that debate all day. But when I say let's talk about economics, let's talk about business development. Let's talk about putting money in people's pockets, helping them build businesses so they can put money in their own pockets. Get out the damn way. That's what I'm talking about. Let's talk about that. And all of a sudden, people get quiet. Well, I'm going to get off my soapbox, but I'm going to keep it a buck with you. So if the Democratic Party actually did some things that were actually materially changing and bettering the lives of all Americans, then all Americans would vote for them. What's happened is, the reality is, none of the political parties in place are going to fundamentally change your life for the better. Neither one of those major parties are going to do it. So a lot of what I'm seeing is apathy and frustration out there. And I get it. But you don't solve it by going to get Trump. But I can't tell them that. How am I convince them of that? They feel like they only have two choices. So they can say whatever they want to say, folks, but at the end of the day, the black vote is leaving. Black men, 30%, voted for Trump. If the election was tomorrow, things could change. They're trying to lock Trump up. If Trump is, you can't elect a president with an ankle bracelet. I said, Dr. Umar, you can't elect a president wearing an ankle bracelet. And you also can't elect a president or re-elect a president who can't get out of bed in the morning. If he thinks 2 + 2 is purple, God bless his soul. All right. Got anything else on that? I think that's all I got on that. All right, so let's remove that. Now, they say one of the ways they're going to mitigate the problems that Biden's having, and I thought this was hilarious. Kamala Harris. Yeah, they said Kamala Harris. There's an article in the New York Times saying Kamala Harris. The Kamala Harris moment has arrived. Kamala Harris has arrived. Her moment has arrived. BS. In what world has Kamala Harris' moment arrived? Oh, Charles Blow's world. In his world, her moment has arrived. Charles Blow. All right, Blow. You blowing smoke, Blow. Blow is blowing smoke. Blow, I mean this in the nicest way possible. What the hell are you talking about, Blow? You tripping. You are tripping. That Democrat money, man, is it that good? Yes, it's that good, Tim Black. That Democratic money is that good, brother. It is amazing. It must be amazing because you are filling us, you are giving us some BS, bro. Come on now. So now here's what they think. They think the abortion issue will be a huge winner for the Democratic Party. They feel like, it's going to be an amazing win for them. The only problem is, and I mean this with all, I mean this with all sincerity, guys. The only problem with the immigration argument, the abortion argument is this, in saying that it's going to be the thing that makes Kamala Harris more of an asset to Biden. Here's the problem with it. Kamala's not good at the stump. Yeah. I'm sorry, guys. It is what it is. I don't find it convincing when she speaks. I don't believe she believes anything she ever says. And some people don't get what's going on now with the abortion issue. It's a major issue, and I know it's a major issue for some, not all, not everybody. The economy is still the bread and butter of why people get up in the morning. People don't get up in the morning just to go have a procedure done. People get up in the morning and pay their bills. So economy is always going to win. But to say that this is Kamala Harris's moment, which you should say, this is it. If Kamala can't prove her worth here, she's to get off the ticket is what you should be saying. That should have been your title, Charles. Charles, your title should have been, if Kamala can't help Biden win this shit, there should be no more Kamala. She should be done. That should be it. But then you wouldn't sell money, then you wouldn't have friends in Washington. Then you'd be ousted from the Democrats. Because once you start saying stuff they don't want you to say, it's bye-bye, blow. Blow, blow. Blow, blow. And these are the breaks. Break it up, break it up, break it up, break down. Curtis Blow. Damn. Yeah, man. Now I was in elementary school when that came out. But I'm proud of that, man. Longevity is where it's at, baby. Longevity where it's at. 50 is the new 50. So, yeah, they're talking about Kamala Harris. This is her moment to shine. We'll see about that. Can we go on to Caitlin Clark? Can we go to Caitlin Clark? Okay, can I remind everybody that this is a Tim Black Show. We live stream Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays. And be here, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so you can be early for me because I usually come in around 9:30. Tonight it was 10. Sorry, dog, had problems. I just got to go and say, you know what, I ain't ready, but I'm just going to go. Be here. Go to jointimblack.com. Help me hire people. Help me hire people to work with me. That's what we need to do. It's one guy. Maybe it's too much for one person to do. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe somebody's supposed to help me with these slides and these video clips and having everything, you know? All right. Oh, here we go. So go to jointimberlake.com to become a member. And I'm also on your social. It's all down here for you to see. Can we go to Caitlin Clark? Yeah, man, I got to say something about Caitlin Clark. Now, we know Caitlin Clark. I guess we don't need a picture. People know who the hell she is. I do have this. So Caitlin Clark is the woman, the young player out of Iowa. The former Iowa basketball player. Caitlin Clark, she almost won it all, but she didn't. She's currently a WNBA rookie. And she's signing a huge deal. Now, Caitlin Clark is an excellent basketball player. She's doing wonders for the WNBA. They say there's a lot of controversy because, hey, they didn't even win the championship this year. How you not win the championship and still be the face of the organization? Still be the face of women's basketball and haven't won nothing? I don't know. Did she win MVP? Or did that go to Don Staley? Okay. How can she be MVP, Tim? She's a coach. Okay, so that don't make sense. Here goes the thing. Now, Caitlin Clark, she got an endorsement deal from Nike. She's on SNL. Here goes a little bit. This is the thing about the SNL appearance.
The WNBA draft is this Monday, and Iowa star Caitlin Clark is expected to be the #1 pick. Here to comment is Caitlin Clark.
The point is that Caitlin Clark is everywhere, man, and there's a reason why, because people want to see her. People want to see her. I read something crazy like Caitlin Clark's, the amount of people that are tuning into the WNBA now, that are picking up, she outsold, what did she sell? She sold, like they're buying her stuff, they're buying jerseys at record numbers. Like they're going, it's ballistic. Ballistic. Of course, guys, people are pissed about it because she got this huge deal, and here it is.
Caitlin Clark mania reaching a fever pitch after the WNBA draft, but you know what's not so hot? Her shockingly low rookie salary, $76,535. Only $76,000 for the season. Now, how much did last year's #1 draft pick for the NBA, Victor Wembanyama, make after his first year? A whopping $12.2 million. You know, even the very last draft pick for the NBA last year, Chris Livingston, signed for $1.1 million. Let's talk to someone who has had firsthand experience with these very deals, professional basketball player and the WNBA's 2009 #1 draft pick, Angel McCoughtry. I'm so glad that
I'm not going to listen to her because it don't matter because no one knows who you are. Respect. Well, that was harsh. People know who you are, who are really into the game. But Caitlin Clark is like a superstar now. Yeah, she white. Ever heard of Eminem? Why are people acting like this is such a strange phenomenon? Nothing fair about notoriety. Nothing's fair about who gets the bag. Nothing's fair about that. No one. Here's the thing. I'm hearing a lot of people complain about Caitlin Clark. I understand why they're complaining. Right? Some of them are complaining because it's their job to complain about shit. I'm going to keep it a buck with you. Jamil Hill complains about stuff because that's her job. Her job is to come up with something to complain about. All these sports writers got to have reasons to complain. This woman here on CNN bringing up this stuff, saying, hey, why is Caitlin Clark only getting now? Now they're complaining that Caitlin Clark isn't getting a bigger salary. The WNBA is worth about $2. If you compare how much the NBA is worth and how much the NBA makes a year versus how much the WNBA makes a year, if you put them on a scale, on one side you have the Titanic, on the other side you have a tugboat. The difference is amazing. Like the NBA, $10 billion last year. The WNBA, like 70 million. 10 billion, which you rather have, 10 billion or 70 million? I know you take the 70 million, but you don't get to. I'm just saying it's a point. The point is, Caitlin Clark will be she is important to the WNBA because she's going to put asses in the seats. She's just signed a deal with Nike. It's not fair. It's not fair. Nothing's fair about capitalism. Nothing's fair about how this shit works. That's it. It's no fair. It wasn't fair when Michael Jordan got all that money. It wasn't. Not if you were a person who didn't get the money. He wasn't the only good player, but he got that Nike deal because they knew they could sell shoes. They're not doing it because they like Caitlin. They only like Caitlin because they like money. And they like Caitlin because other people like Caitlin. That's why they signed Caitlin. That's how it works. I recently had an interview for an opportunity to do a show on a network. It's not political. It's not political. They just like that I got a personality when I talk. They're like, hey, man, you will be refreshing on our network. The reason why they talked to me, the reason why I had an interview with them is because they said, hey, I think other people will like him. Them liking me is only because they see me as a way to make money for their company. That's the same thing this works. That's the same way this works. One of the things I don't like is when we allow these commentators to undermine our real essence of who we are, to undermine our real fights. Our real fight is not, why is Caitlin going to get a shoe deal? Why didn't his sister get a shoe deal? We don't own the shoe companies. We don't own the shoe companies. And masses of people like Caitlin. That's why it happened. I'm not telling you I like it. I'm telling you what it is. And when you say it's racism, yeah, everything in America, there's race in everything in America. I'm not somebody who's going to sit up here like one of the conservatives and just tell you race got nothing to do with it. Race always has something to do with it. It's not always everything, though. Capitalism is even sometimes bigger than race. And in this case, they got her a shoe because they know they can sell her shoes. Now, the only thing we can hope for in this situation, because we don't control Nike, we don't control the WNBA salaries are low because women don't go watch the WNBA. That will change. That can change. Think about all the people that can benefit if Caitlin Clark is a success in the WNBA. This could change women's basketball. This could change the reality from where it is now and make it more lucrative so that everybody gets paid more. Last thing I'm going to say, it ain't that white girl's fault that she is in this situation. All she does is play her game, want to play basketball, want to compete, want to be good at what she does. What those companies choose to do, that's not really up to her. I used to tell guys I work with, every once in a while, we'd have somebody come join our IT team. They didn't know what they were doing, but they were a white guy who was a friend of another white guy, like an owner or something. And I remember when the whole staff was pissed off, like, what's this guy doing here? He don't even know what he's doing. We got to show him everything. He don't know nothing. How they get him in here? How many hoops I had to jump through to get this job? This guy comes in green, not knowing nothing. And I say, hey, I understand you pissed off, but remember, he didn't hire himself. Nah, he may have wanted the job, but somebody hired his ass. That's what we should really be mad about. That's who the real problem is. It ain't the guy with the job. It's the guy that gave him the job. That's the problem. So the same thing goes with Caitlin Clark. That's not defending Caitlin Clark. There's nothing to defend her for. She didn't do anything. So that's my opinion on the Caitlin Clark situation with Nike. I understand where people are coming from, but hey, stop crying wolf so loud for a real wolf come and eat your ass. And stop using our blackness for your own disputes. I think some of it is they want to help these other sisters get money. You know, and I get that, and I respect that. I respect that part of it. But recognize, negativity sometimes backfires. It makes it harder for black people. Making it harder, too. You had a potential to make it a lot harder because you're not really making a case. You know damn well Nike it's not giving shoes to random white people who can't make them money. That's just not how the shit works. At least not for long. I mean, we remember Vanilla Ice. He sucked. But he flamed out. But Caitlin Clark, I don't think she's Vanilla Ice. She's actually worked very hard at what she does. So we'll see what happens. There's no diss to all the sisters that have been killing it. There was somebody was saying how there's these other black female basketball players who have amazing stats, MVP, championships, all these things, and can't get any recognition. And that's because of sport. That's because of sport budget. They need to put them on the stage and light up the stage and make people see it. It doesn't matter how good someone is if nobody knows. So unfortunately, in America, the cameras go to the light. It says here, the face of women's basketball is Caitlin Clark. It's a damn shame, Johnson. It is what it is. No one said she can't play, though. She can play. Nike gave her a deal because they can make money off her and exploit her. If they're giving her 8 figures, she's gonna make them 9 figures. That's how that works. That's what it is. And if she doesn't, that's what they get. I also am very excited about what this means because there will be others who will get bigger contracts. Once the precedent is set, others follow suit. That's how I believe it works. Also, if you're a WNBA player and you start bringing in fashion, think about it beyond sneakers. Think about this beyond sneakers. Think about all the other female stuff. All the other women's stuff they can sell. Not just sneakers. What does she wear when she goes out on the town? She's still a lady. She's still a woman. What does she wear when she goes out on the town? What kind of, I don't know, this is a humongous market. There's a bigger market selling women's goods than the WNBA or the NBA ever could be. And with Caitlin, you tap into that. It is what it is. All right. I know some people are not going to like that segment. It is what it is, man. I just think the WNBA. And another thing, guys, another important thing. It's only 12 WNBA teams. I didn't know that. How the hell are you going to complain about a league that's basically a starter league? If you only got 12 teams, Johnson. Cube has more than 12 teams. The Big Three has more than 12 teams. How are you only going to have 12 teams? And how are you going to complain about a league that is supplemented, sponsored, funded by another league? Without the NBA, there is no WNBA. I didn't know that. I didn't know that the NBA funds the WNBA. I didn't even know that was legal. Okay. Isn't that what Trump's on trial for? All right, okay. Next thing. Jesus Christ. I know people like Tim Black, man. Boy, I tell you, it is what it is. I think I'm here. Oh, I want to get to this. I meant to play this earlier. I'm going to throw this clip in and then we're going to go to Tiffany Henyard. Tiffany Henyard, if you're not following this show, if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you're watching this and you're not totally a sellout, go ahead and hit like. Hit like. We don't want no sellouts. If you're not a sellout, hit like. Go ahead. I'll wait. Hit the like button. Check this out. Some people believe, some people foolishly believe that all you got to do, some women believe that all they need to do is get more women in the office, and that's going to make things better for them, just because by the sheer fact they're women. Yeah, but you know what I've seen? I've seen women throw women under the bus. A lot. Yeah, it works the same way. I've seen this. That's when they talk about intersectionality. Because if you pay attention to stuff in this game, I notice these things. I notice there are women that make a lot of money trashing women to men, because it's a market for women to tell the truth about women to men. And there's a market where men trash men to the women. So it happens the same way. Just like there's black people that trash black people, the white people, and there's white people. It's like it's all the same. It's crazy. Here's the thing. When it comes to black folks, this sister makes a speech about black faces in high places. Black faces in high places. Check this out.
Faces are not going to save us. Just look at black faces in high places are not going to save us. Just look at the black proponents of Cop City in Atlanta's leadership class. Black faces in high places are not going to save us. Just look at the black woman's hand, ambassador at the UN, voting against a ceasefire in Gaza. That is, our blackness and our womanness are not in themselves trustworthy. If we allow ourselves to be conscripted into positions of power that maintain the oppressive status quo, our blackness and womanness are not themselves trustworthy if we support the occupation of black neighborhoods with so-called better trained police, or remain silent about the genocide of oppressed peoples around the world funded by our tax dollars. And here, let me please shout out the incredible Spelman students and AUC siblings who have been organizing with Stop Cop City and Justice in Palestine, among many other troublemakers in this room. You all remind us that college is not a waiting room to enter the real world, but that
I thought what she said here, because I had this conversation with some people, I've heard it, and it's like they think all we need to do is replace people. No, man, we need the right type of people. We need the right type of people in the right places. That's how we make changes that actually that matter in our lives. If we just switch and go by we just put some black people in here. Now you gotta put the right people. You can't say just put some women in there. You gotta put the right women. You just put some people from the Midwest in. Put some people from the inner city in. Put some people, the poor people in. But if you put the wrong people in, it doesn't matter. You'll get wrong results. You're gonna get bad results. It's all about the character of the person that you put in and what their agenda is, what they're really trying to get accomplished. And that's what I see people overlook. And that's one of the reasons why people are pushing back. They're pushing back on a lot of the changes that are going on because they're not seeing substantive change in their lives. All they're seeing is noise. They're hearing noise and they're not seeing really changes that are positive. Okay? So I appreciate her. I appreciate this speech. I do. It's not about black faces in high spaces. It's about the right places. The right people being in the right places. That's what it is. And that's people that care about your interests and my interests. That's what I'm on. That's what I'm on. Because if you put a sellout in a position, you know how hard it is to get rid of them? We put sellouts in a position. All they do is take up space, and now it's hard to get rid of them because they say, well, you got to convince everybody. That then after one, now this is not a good person to put up there. Well, why? She's black. What are you talking about? They don't understand that it matters what the agenda is of the person. That makes all the difference. That makes all the difference. Speaking of making differences, Tiffany Henyard. Lord have mercy. Tiffany Henyard, they pulled her. Do I have a Tiffany Henyard? Do I have a Tiffany Henyard file? Well, most people who know this story know what I'm talking about. There's a mayor. There's a mayor in Dalton, Illinois. Her name is Tiffany Henyard, and she here was just subpoenaed by the FBI. Yep. Coming for. They're coming for you, Tiffany. That's how that works. The FBI served subpoenas at the Dalton Village Hall on Friday amid allegations of corruption leveled against Mayor Tiffany Henyard and other city officials. 4 agents from the FBI paid a visit to Dalton around 2:30 p.m. It served 2 federal subpoenas. The first one was employment records, personnel files, and disciplinary reports for 15 Dalton employees, including 3 police officers and Keith Freeman. Now, Freeman is the village administrator. He was charged with bankruptcy fraud on Monday. So, folks, it is actually the walls are closing in. Here's what I learned, guys. I don't know if you know this. I want to say this. I do not have a supreme vendetta against Tiffany Henyard. I hear some people, when they're talking about Tiffany Henyard, it's as if they're getting like an adrenaline rush. Tearing this woman apart. That's not the case with me, okay? That's not how I operate. Because, see, I know Tiffany is not the only bad mayor in America. Now, Tiffany Henyard is not the only bad mayor in America. Do I want to take up for her? No. Nope. Not going to do that. Ain't that stupid. I don't defend crooks. What I'm saying is she's not the only bad mayor in America. So some people getting a little giddy. I understand it's great to make content. It's great to report on something. It gets to a point, though, it's like, God, man. It's like a hobby. My thing with the people that defend Tiffany, I'm not defending her by pointing out that some people are going over the top with this thing. There are at least 10 other mayors right now that sucked almost as bad, if not worse, than Tiffany Henyard. That's all I'm saying. And if you do this job, and you Google this shit, you'll find what I'm talking about is true. It's just Tiffany is more brazen than most. So anyway, the FBI served subpoenas at the Dalton Village on Friday. People have been reporting on Tiffany Henyard for 2 years. 2 years before it hit the mainstream. So Tiffany has kept up this level of corruption, which is unauthorized spending, retaliation against opponents, political opponents, all types of paying for things for personal use while neglecting the uses or the needs of the township and of the city of Dalton. Like, we're talking about, I need 5 bodyguards. I need to take a trip to Bermuda. I need to do this. I need all types of crazy stuff that she's doing. Exuberant, lavish spending, lavish this and that. And it's a little small town. This ain't Los Angeles City. This ain't New York City. It's Dalton. I never even heard of Dalton until I heard of Tiffany Henyard. And now what are they known for? Tiffany Henyard, corrupt mayor. So, Lawrence Gardner owns a U-Haul rental and trucking business in South Suburban Dalton. He says he went to the FBI several months ago because what? He was frustrated with the village of Dalton. They would not renew his business license. Why would they not renew this good man's business license? This good black brother's business license. Why was he having such a hard time getting a renewal? Well, because he didn't kick in on Tiffany Halton's election campaign. He did not contribute to her election campaign, so she withheld his business license. Do you hear what I'm saying? See, here's where I say to people, you can't defend people just because they all skin folk ain't kinfolk. Some people are corrupt. Now, I don't know how it happened. Because at one time, Tiffany Henyard was a trustee, a city trustee. She was an elected official that had been there. People knew her, and they trusted her. Hence, trustee. Something happened. She got corrupt. I don't know how it happened. Stop saying she sounded like the black Donald Trump. Anyway, agents were asking questions about Henyard's alleged use of taxpayer dollars and resources, including massive spending on out-of-town trips, as I just pointed out. They also inquired about hundreds of thousands of dollars in police overtime pay. Tiffany been hooking up her friends. And I guess if you're one of her friends, that's a good hookup, right? I guess, until the roosters come home to roost. It's not her money. It's not her money. She don't own the city. She works for the city. That's taxpayer money. Some of it is probably federal money. Because I saw her in Biden's office or something. So anyway, yeah. There are a lot of people covering the Tiffany Henyard story. Some people have been covering it nonstop. And I get it, you're trying to come up. All I'm saying is, and look, I don't want to call no names. I don't want to go after none of y'all. All I'm saying is, I see you making this like a thing. And I'm looking at you like, are you doing this to help the people in Henyard, in Dalton? Damn, that was a Freudian slip. Is your fixation on Tiffany Henyard, to help the people of Dalton, or is it to help yourself? I'll also add this, another question. People who are defending Tiffany Henyard, why aren't you defending the brothers and sisters of Dalton who she hurt? Cuts both ways, Johnson. All good questions, all good relevant questions. Sometimes you want to defend black folks, but if they've been hurting black folks the whole time, why are you defending that? So a lot of ethical issues are being raised in this Tiffany Henyard story. And all I'm saying, on both sides, you got some points that could be made. And I'd like to have that conversation. I'd like to bring somebody on the show and we actually had that conversation. So hit me up. Tim@TimberLakeTV.com. Tim@TimberLakeTV.com. If you are you make content and you talk about Tiffany Henyard, maybe we can chop it up on the topic. It's just one of the ways I want to expand what we do on the show. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I think I got to everything I wanted to get to. We did the black voters. We did Tiffany Henyard. Oh, before I go, last thing. There is a clip. This is a bonus, guys. A bonus. Brandon Johnson is the mayor of Chicago. Brandon Johnson's in hot water. They're calling for a recall. Yeah, they're filing a recall. They want to get his ass out of office. It's something. It is something else, Johnson. Look, what's going on there in Chicago is a travesty, and the black community is pissed. You hear what I'm saying? I don't like when they paint black folks who are pissed off about what's happening in their communities and try to paint it as racism. Listen to this woman from the community make her argument about what's happening in Chicago. Let me know if this sounds like racism or does she have a point?
I'm P. Ray of the 37th Ward. Chicago Red is our organization. Because we started this session with a prayer, I want to start my comment with the scripture. 1 Timothy 5:8 says, "But if any provide not for his own, and specifically for those of his own house, he hath denied the faith and is worse than an infidel." So I want to talk to y'all today about not going to hell. In the 37th Ward, there was a family, the Jones family. Amarie Jones was standing in her family building that they've owned for 40 years doing a TikTok dance with her mother. A bullet came through the window, hit her in the neck. She fell to the ground in front of her mother and bled to death. a month ago on the Chicago mugshot page, her mother was on that page. Her mother had on her daughter's Rest in Peace t-shirt. She washed it so many times that it was completely faded out. She was completely high, out of her mind, and the charge was possession. Now, the first $51 million that this council gave to the migrants came from the opioid settlement funds. I am here on behalf of the Jones family, on behalf of the 37th Ward, on behalf of Black Chicago, on behalf of the entire city, to ask you all to vote no and put that money back in the opioid settlement fund. We need that money in my neighborhood. We need that on my block. That woman should not be at Cook County Jail because she's grieving over a random act of violence that caused her to lose her child in front of her face, when the city of Chicago has millions upon millions upon millions of dollars to give to people who ain't paid a dime into the tax base. We've been in my building for 52 years. We're about to pay some more taxes. The Jones family has been in their building for 45 years, paying taxes every year on time. So I'm asking y'all to use our tax money for our people. We need it. We got people leaning. We got people rocking. We got overdosing. We got pass out lines. You live on the west side, Mayor Johnson. You know exactly what I'm talking about. We need the money for us. We need opioid treatment on the west side of Chicago. We are the headquarters of the cartel, and everybody in here knows it. They selling more drugs than the law can allow, and y'all giving money back to them because they traffic those people up here, so we paying them going and coming. Absolutely not. We pay too much. It costs too much money to live in this city. Help Wanda Jones. Help every other grieving mother who feels like she has to go get high to get over the loss of her child. This is a woman who lived in that house. She still sleeps in that living room where her daughter passed out and bled to death. So I'm asking y'all to say no, put these people on the back burner, and put the money back in the opioid fund. We need that money. Thank y'all.
Wow. Wow. What y'all think? What do you think? I want some comments. Come on now. Give me some super chat comments, guys. I want to have this conversation. I don't want this to be an all one-sided conversation. I want people to chime in over me. Come on now. Come on. What do you think about what the sister had to say? What do you think about what the sister had to say now? I want the truth. I want the truth coming from you. I got a few thoughts. I couldn't help but notice she was wearing a MAGA hat. Maybe it's nothing for nothing. But if she was wearing a Biden hat, I'd make note of it. So there are people saying, Tim, why did you bring up she was wearing a MAGA hat? I would have brought up if she was wearing a Biden hat. Why are you so touchy, man? All I'm saying is this politically motivated. Seems that way when you wear that hat. I wish she wouldn't have wore that hat, because it distracts from the message. Then I saw on Fox News. Here we go. Okay, I'm going to move past that because what she's saying is so substantive, I got to move past it. Check this out, guys. I agree with her. I agree that in Chicago, that I spend the money on the things that will impact the average Chicago citizen that pays taxes in a way that is efficient, in a way that will actually benefit Chicago residents to the fullest, as they should. I feel like there's a dereliction of duty in the city of Chicago, that they are not spending that money the best way for the taxpayers to actually see a return on their tax revenue. I agree with her. I agree with that. I do. But my thing about the migrant issue, I got to be a little bit more nuanced. This is what I'm trying to tell you. If they stop funding migrants tomorrow, they still ain't gonna spend that money on Chicago. So we got people that are coming into politics who don't understand the fight. And this is not gonna make me popular. I already know that. People already probably like, I'm gonna unsubscribe. I can't stand this. He a coon. He a sellout. You don't understand, man. I've been doing this too long. Here's the dilemma. I wish you were right. I wish you were right. Do you hear me? I wish you were right. You just aren't. This woman ain't been in politics long enough. These people that'll be talking and making a lot of money off your frustration and your anger haven't been covering politics long enough. They don't know what they're talking about. Folks, If it was about money, we would have already solved the problems. Y'all not getting it. You're not getting it. Folks, it's not about money, it's about will. You don't get it. No. Even if there were no migrants here, they still would not spend the money. They will always find an excuse. I understand that you think there's a connection between money they spend over here, but when it comes to resources for Black Americans, when it comes to resources to the inner city that predominantly impacts Black Americans, they always come up with an excuse. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying I agree with you. Yes, they should be doing this. They are not doing it, and they would not be doing it even if the migrants weren't there. That's what I've seen them do. I've seen it too many times because what was the migrant population 5 years ago in Chicago? See, I've been covering Chicago for at least 10 years, maybe longer than that. I was covering Chicago, the issues in Chicago, way before I started covering politics. I was covering the schools. I was covering what happened to Laquan McDonald. I was covering things that happened to Chicagoans. And I noticed the school closings over 10 years ago, Johnson. There wasn't a heavy influx of migrant activity, whatever. There was not that 10 years ago, not in that area. So what I'm telling you is, it's a policy decision. Someone's making policy decisions not to fund the resources that you're talking about. And I'm a person that's very sensitive about the issues of drug addiction. I'm very sensitive to the issues of what the resources are being put in place in order to help our brothers and sisters who are addicted, who have addictions, or who are vulnerable to those addictions. I'm very serious about that. Okay, so you don't have somebody that's talking to you that does that have experience, doesn't have skin in the game, and is somehow removed from reality when it comes to these things. I get it. What I'm telling you is, unfortunately, this is what the fight has always been about. The fight has never been they're giving the money to migrants. The fight has never been they're giving the money to build a museum. Dog, they've been doing this since day one. This is what the fight is. You just knew. You are new to the game. You don't realize Black people have been complaining about resources that are being spent in our communities for 50 years. It's not like, dog, it's not like they were spending all these monies and these resources on these Black issues, and then they said, okay, we're going to stop doing it now. We're going to spend it over here. They never were spending it. That's what I'm saying. That's my point. Now, if we can prove that that's the case, then we have a little bit more ground to stand on as far as who we going to blame. But I'm going to have to start, I got to point people to, see, this is how it works. People are so upset, they have a right to be upset. It's very hard to be that one individual that's standing up and telling people the unpopular truth, because there's easy money to be made just going after the immigrants. Easy money. Those immigrants did not let themselves in the country. Those immigrants do not write the checks. Those immigrants are not the ones fumbling the resources. That's our government doing that, right? So I want to be clear about who the culprit is. There's a saying that I heard Dr. Cornel West use recently. He said, be careful the way our system is designed, and I'm only paraphrasing. He said, it'll have you scapegoating the most vulnerable and excusing the most powerful. This system, the way that it's designed, the trickery of the system, the way that they covertly operate, will have you scapegoating the most vulnerable people while you ignore the real culprits who are powerful. And that's all I'm saying. We got to be careful with that. Also, what I'm trying to push, what I'm also trying to show people, what I'm trying to tell people is that I do not see a direct, it's not that It's not that they're not neglecting. They are neglecting. That's what benign neglect is. This is what Dr. Claude Anderson was talking about. This is what we've been talking about forever. This is what we've been screaming and shouting. When people weren't paying attention to politics, and I was talking about this 5 years ago, this is what I was telling you. But it wasn't about migrants. But I was still talking about the resources. This is what we were saying about in Ferguson. This is what we were talking about. They were targeting Black communities. We've had study after study after study about what they do to Black communities. Over-policing. What's that for? That's for revenue, taking it out of Black community. Those tickets, the citations. The lack of resources, the lack of investment. Okay? That's intentional, and that's systemic, and it's been done that way for multiple decades. So what I'm saying is, you're not wrong. They are neglecting the schools. They are neglecting the treatment centers. This is very true. But you're connecting these things only because it's easy to. And I feel, see, what I don't like is I feel the Republicans are having a field day laughing at this shit. They're laughing at it. They say, ooh, we got these Black people doing this work for us. Are they intending to go put the money in those places? I'm serious now. The people that, how can I say this? The beneficiaries of this fight. Say you win the fight. The beneficiaries of the political parties that win that fight, they're going to take those resources and allocate those resources to the groups and the services that you need? Or are they going to say, because I see it happen in Maryland. I see it happen here in my own town, man. My own city. Not my own city, my own state. Oh, we're going to build a casino. We're going to build a casino, and all the revenue is going to go to the schools. Do you know what they did? They built a major studio, MGM, National Harbor Studio. Amazing. MGM casino, amazing, right? Guess what they did? Say the school budget was $5 billion. The money that they made from the studio, they replaced the $5 billion that was formerly being paid to the schools and gave it somewhere else and used the casino $5 billion. They didn't make it $10 billion. They just moved the money somewhere else. We were already getting $5 billion for schools. But now we got a casino and we got people that are getting addicted to gambling. We got a whole nother crime problem. We got a whole nother problem of addiction. And we haven't really gained because they just said, oh, you were getting $5 billion over here. We still giving you $5 billion, but you're getting it from over here. And now you can't get rid of the casino because you're getting $5 billion from it. And now the school relies on it. See the game? See what they do? This is what they've been doing. This is what people have been fighting and arguing with. This is what the marches have been about. This is what the direct actions have been about. This is what all that drama has been about that you have not been a part of until somebody said something on a stump one day that got you riled up. This is what we've been fighting for. These are the problems. Welcome to the world. Welcome to the world of being screwed over. This is what's been going on for so long. Thank you for joining. Thank you for understanding what we're talking about, man. And all I'm saying is, like that one guy. See, this is what I see propaganda, right? Remember that one guy they had, that one migrant who was like showboating money? Oh, I didn't come here to work. I came here to take money from U.S. This guy, right? He was like, you know what I'm saying? Remember this guy? This guy who just crossed the border? He was like, look at these. Come to America. You don't have to work. Yeah. And about 2 weeks later, he was like, they're kicking me out of America. I'm sorry. They're kicking me out of America. They used his ass. They used his dumb ass to rile us up, to distract us from the reality. See, and this is why I can't rock with Republicans, because they give me no indication at all that they're going to take that money and put it into the resources. That's my problem with them. They'll make the arguments. They'll want the culture war to go down. But at the end of the day, you'll say, okay, we saved $100 million. $100 billion. They say, yeah. You be like, you gonna fix the schools? No. But thanks for helping. How can I say this? Let me say it like this, guys. Here goes the way to put it, folks. How many people saw Carlito's Way? Anybody here saw Carlito's Way? If you saw Carlito's Way, put a 1 up. Put a 1 up if you saw Carlito's Way. Can I get a 1 up if you saw Carlito's Way? Amazing movie starring Al Pacino, came out in the 90s. In Carlito's Way, he plays a gangster by the name of Carlito Briganta. Carlito Briganta. Right? Smooth brother. Smooth brother, right? He had a friend. He had somebody that knew that before. He had someone that he knew before he got locked up. He goes to jail. He comes out. Somebody he knew before he got locked up. From the block. Knew this guy. Then there was a young guy who came into the hood. And I'm sure somebody remembers him. I forget the name of the character, but it was played by John Leguizamo. And the guy coming up really respected Brigante, Carlito. But Carlito did not respect him. Thought he was a young punk. Didn't like him. Unknowns to Carlito, the guy that he knew was now working for the young bastard. The young bastard who was trying to take Carlito's place. His friend, the friend betrays Carlito. This is like the final act of the movie. The friend betrays Carlito. Who knows what I'm talking about? Benny from the block. My brother, Benny from the block. Okay. The last very scene of it. Remember what happened? They shoot Carlito. They shoot Carlito. Benny from the block. They shoot Carlito. And the guy that betrayed Carlito is like, okay, we shot him. We got him. Let's go. He said, yeah, let's go. But you can't come with us. And they shot him too. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's the Republican Party. I fear that's what they're doing. I fear that's what they're doing. I see them do this. So basically what happens is you help them take out who they don't like. At the end, they screw you too. I see no evidence that they will do anything different. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong about the issues. I'm not saying you're wrong about the lack of resources. I'm not saying you're wrong about the lack of spending on the schools, on the environment, on healthcare, mental health, all these things, man. I'm with you. I support that. Be careful not to scapegoat the most vulnerable and ignore the most powerful. That's all I'm saying. There are forces behind this. And we've been fighting this fight as a people, as a society. When I say as a people, I don't just mean black people. I mean people that are aware of the system and how the system operates, who choose to be on the side of righteous, who choose to be on the side of what needs to be done for the people. If you're fighting for the people, that's what I'm talking about. This is the fight we've been having. Schools have been historically underfunded. Mental health, historically underfunded. This is why I've been fighting for us to get health care. People are like, we just need to get our money right. We don't need no damn health care. Huh? We do need health care, Johnson. We pay more than any other westernized country for our pharmaceuticals, and for our health care. And we don't even have the best health care. We pay more than anybody else. Crazy rate. So anyway, my point, and I just want to make sure I'm clear here. I'm not saying I disagree with the sister. I'm not saying that. She's right. The resources need to be going to the citizens who pay their taxes, who pay taxes in this city. The opiate epidemic is serious. I'm all too familiar with it. I've been personally impacted by this. And I've gotten such an education. I knew about it, but now I really know about it. Understand what I'm saying? Now I'm really aware of it. in a very deep way. My thing is this, Johnson. I am not convinced that they was allocate those resources to the directions that you're talking about, that we're complaining about. I'm not convinced they do that. When I had Dr. Derek Hamilton on the show, and he was like, I said, Dr. Derek Hamilton, some of my viewers feel the immigration is negatively impacting Black Americans. He was like, well, I haven't really seen a true source of evidence of that. I looked it up. I did see some evidence of it, and there is evidence of it. So I disagree with Dr. Derek Hamilton on that fact. But I also got to submit to you guys, I got to keep it a buck with you. From what I've seen as I've done my research, it would help, but only if they actually have an agenda to fund those resources, to provide those resources. And I'm seeing them move in the opposite direction. And that party, particularly the Republican Party, is not interested in public services. They're not interested in mental health services. They're not interested in addiction clinics. I've never heard a Republican candidate run on some shit like that. Now I've heard people like Bernie Sanders, who's fucked up on other policies. I know. But I've never heard a Republican run on, we need to solve the opiate epidemic. They don't even talk about this shit. They're not on to that. They're not into public services. This is the quandary. We're stuck between a rock and a hard place. This is why this situation is so complex. It's so frustrating. If the only problem was we got too many immigrants, and that's the whole problem, if that would fix it all, great. But sort of like the MGM Casino, just 20 minutes from me right now, if they didn't have that money for that casino there, they would still not be funding those resources that we need. They would still not be providing the resources in the areas that we need, because that's not their agenda. Get it? That is not their agenda. So that's the problem. So we got to put the right people in place to have the agenda that we set, not the ones that their donors set, not the agenda set by their dark money, okay? Not by the pharmaceuticals, big pharma, or big tech, right? Or military industrial complex, or the private prisons. Do you understand? The fight is so much bigger than you give it credit. And then you come out and you make these statements. And people get riled up. And they're looking for somebody to blame. And we're pointing over here, and I'm trying to tell you where you got to point. My problem with some people is they know where to point. They don't want to point because that's where the money is. Do you understand how much money is changing hands right now? I'm done, Johnson. As I pointed out earlier tonight, the Republican Party is making a concerted effort to put money in the pockets of Black people to have a certain narrative. The same thing's going on with the Democratic Party. What would you do if you were about to lose to Trump and you had some spokesmodels you could hire on various social media platforms that could influence Black people? Potentially. You spend your money there. Both sides are spending money on both sides of the equation. I'm keeping it a buck with you. If they can't have a nuanced conversation that breaks it down, they either don't know what's going on, are not interested enough to get you the facts, or fact check what I'm telling you. Look it up. Hit me up. Tim@TimberlakeTV.com. We could chop it up. What I'm telling you is, it's a lot more to this than people are letting on. My job is to make you be informed, not just to eat off your frustration. All right, guys, that's it. That's all I got. Let's go to comments. Woo! Absolutely despicable. It is, in fact. My brother, Ahmed Oz. Thank you, Oz. I appreciate you, brother. Just joining the convo, be sure to smash the thumbs up button. Share tonight's content and engage. I appreciate y'all. Thank you, Side of the Times, for always doing what you do. Don't have to back down what I'm trying to. I think I made my point. Didn't say back down, sister. AGB said they're going to keep stealing funds. I feel you. AGB said she's going ham on that camera, on that comment section, y'all. Give it up for AGB. That's what I'm saying. Damon Reeves gets it. It's by design to keep the FBA downgraded. Up. There it is. They don't know the fight, bro. They don't know the fight. It's a shame, bro. Trying to tell them, man. I'm trying to tell them, but it's. Someone was telling me about the opioid addiction in West Virginia. Do you not know the amount of opiates that flooded West Virginia? I know people don't care. I don't know the black population, the percentage of black population in West Virginia, but I'm assuming it's predominantly black, right? I'm sorry, predominantly white, for instance. For years, fam, I remember when I first covered it, the actual opiate addiction in West Virginia is off the hook. The lawsuits, the amount of opiates that were flooded into West Virginia is staggering. We're talking about pharmaceutical grade. We're talking about pharmaceutical opiates that they strategically, it's like they airdropped. It's like they carpet bombed that state with opiates. Some crazy disproportionate amount of opiates. And they were writing prescription after prescription, getting all these people addicted on these opiates. I'm telling you that it's deeper. It's deeper than you think. That's all I'm saying. It's deeper. What they were doing is just. Doc Sanchez says, any comment on the new Supreme Court decision, Mudrow versus St. Louis, Missouri, which will make it easier for abused workers to prove discrimination? Nah, there's no comment on it, but I hadn't heard of it. I like what I'm hearing, brother. I like what I hear. There we go. Courtesy of Cracker Joe, Jew Moochie Mansion. Yo, DC Precise. The amount of opiates in Carpet Bomb, West Virginia is unthinkable, my friend. Unthinkable. And I covered this like 3 or 4 years ago. I don't know what their treatment centers look like. I just want people to open their heads up to the fact that you are right. You can be right and wrong at the same time. That's all I'm saying. You can be right. You can be right. And I agree. It is despicable. It is disgusting. What I'm saying is, who's doing it? We need to go after those elected officials. I can't believe it's Brandon. I don't know Brandon Johnson. Right? I cannot believe that all the decisions that are being made are up to Brandon Johnson. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying don't hold him accountable. Who else you go get? But what I'm saying is there's more to it than what's being explained. If we could get them to allocate resources We need to be demanding resources go to where we want without even bringing up the immigration argument. That's all I'm saying. Why do we got to bring up the immigration argument to talk about funding opiates? Why do we got to tie the two together? You know what I'm saying? Why are we tying the two things together? That's all I'm saying. Why make the correlation between opiate abuse and opiate treatment to immigrants? You know how much other shit they spend money on? All I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That seems a little weird to me. And it feels like it's being ginned up by people who have a vested interest on making that a talking point. And those people that are in it with you, making that conversation, making the argument about why are we helping these immigrants, I understand their argument, but I'm saying this, where were they before the immigrants on the resources? Where were they on the resource issue? We've been on these resource issues for 20, 30 years. Where were those people before the immigrants became a problem? I'm asking tough questions. I'm broadening the conversation. I'm not even saying you're wrong. I'm saying, are you even considering that? Are you going to answer that question? Are you going to say, it don't matter, I don't care? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. And I'm saying it matters. Because if we can't answer those questions, if we're not going to address those questions, we ain't going to get to the real bottom of the problem. We're not getting to the bottom of the problem this way. And what's going to happen is Trump's going to get elected and none of that shit's going to change other than migrants, and then they're still not going to spend the money. They're still not going to put the money into the resources that we're talking about, because that ain't even an argument you're really making. The argument you're making that they want to hear is that immigrants are bad and we need to hurt the immigrants. We need to stop the immigrants. But we're not making an argument sufficiently about the resources. I want the argument to be about the resources. But here's the thing. If you were just talking about the resources, you wouldn't get no airtime. Because don't nobody want to hear about your damn opiate addiction. Don't nobody want to hear about the real things you're complaining about. The only reason why they're giving you any airtime is because they're using your voice because it's anti-immigrant. And I get it. I understand it. But as I dig into the issue, I can't ignore what I'm discovering. Other people are ignoring what I'm discovering. And they're playing to the lowest common denominator, which is disgust, frustration, right? A lot of it warranted. A lot of it very understandable. People are playing into that, and they're not giving you any context. And I understand that some people don't want context, but if you want to understand what's happening, you got to have context. You got to understand why. If you just walk up and somebody get hit, you grab the guy got hit without context, you might understand he was winning 5 minutes ago. I don't need to know that. Well, you kind of need to know that if you're jumping into this fight. You're walking up, you see one guy winning and one guy losing. If you came 20 seconds earlier, it would have been the other way around. So I'm saying context matters, right? Context matters. And some people are not providing context, and it's really easy to say we angry, we're frustrated. Okay. I know Chicago schools have been underfunded for fucking 20 years. Okay. And I know it's a slap in the face that they're funding new arrivals, immigrants, undocumented people, whatever you want to call them. I don't want to call anybody anything derogatory just to do it. I don't have to do that. But we've been talking about this for 20 years, about the school systems in Chicago, okay? About the most segregated city, one of the most segregated cities the most segregated city in Illinois is Chicago. People have been talking about the problems of Chicago for 30, 40 years. Why aren't those problems being fixed? Why they had the same problems under Brandon that you had under Rahm Emanuel? Why the same problems? That's all I'm saying. What's the same? What's the same? I think they're using good people. They're using good people, and some people use this as a come-up. But they're using good people, and they have no intentions of fixing the real fucking problems. That's what I'm upset about. That's what gets my blood boiling. See? And I wish I didn't know that I could just be loud and join you, and we could just be loud together. We could just be loud and just make a bunch of noise and be pissed off and all that. But unfortunately, I know it's more to it than that. I just do. All right, guys, I want to thank everybody for joining me tonight. I didn't mean to make that last segment so long, but I saw the clip, and I feel where the sister's coming from. I know that my audience cares about it, and that's how it is. Sometimes we're going to disagree on certain topics if you disagree. For those that agree with me, they understand where I'm coming from. They understand it's not as cut and dry as people make it. It is what it is. I appreciate you. Thank you for joining me. My name is Tim Black. Find me at Real Tim Black on Facebook and Twitter. Find me at Tim Black Show on Instagram and TikTok. Yeah, I'm on TikTok too. I'm everywhere you are. Come back here Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays for more of the Tim Black Show. Yeah. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Tobias said, immigrants are the best way to divide and conquer in America. Wow. I heard that. Yeah. Lillian Madison. Thank you, Lillian. There you go. That's a comment. That's a comment. That's somebody right there. What's up, Lillian? Thank you. Governor P. Hilton in Illinois. Governor P. Hilton. Illinois is running that money. Here it is. Here it is. That's all I'm saying. This is what some Chicagoans were telling me, funny face. This is what some of my Chicago people were telling me, that Brandon Johnson is being scapegoated about this problem. That's what I'm being told. Like, it's not me just pulling it. It's not me just throwing stuff out. You know what I'm saying? It's not me just trying to be, trying to throw water on the flame. It's not that. It's not that. There's so much not that. I can rant and go in, for real. I seen them do it. I seen the trickery. But I thank you for the comment, though, fam. I really do. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Is this system showing me everything? Are they showing me everything, Johnson? Let me just make sure, man. I think they are. All right, fam, I'm out. We had a good show. We had a long show, and that's what it's all about. Having an informative show, a long show, whatever. Long as it's a good show. Hope you got something out of this. Don't forget to go find us at jointimblack.com. Become a member of the show, and don't be a stranger. Come through, and come see us again next week. I got content that'll be going out over the weekend. Number love for you. Like I always say, don't let nobody take your cornbread. And remember, they say, damn, man, Tim Black is going in tonight. That brother was on one. Tell him, hey, it's a new day. That's what that is. Yeah.
Most news shows are suspect. They don't focus on Black issues, and when they do, it's all fluff. How does that help your life? How does that help your family? How does that help the culture? They don't. The Tim Black Show is different. Tim Black gives you news for people who can't stand the news. Real, authentic, researched, entertaining, on point. Don't let nobody take your cornbread. Visit www.timblacktv.com today. Get Black breaking news, politics, culture from someone you can trust. TimBlackTV.com. Join us today.
Don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe. Don't be fooled by corporate media talking heads misleading the people. Get your news and information from an entity that keeps it real. Tim Black. Tim Black is the host of The Tim Black Show. Independent news that leaves you informed, inspired, and sometimes entertained, but always in the know. Go to TimBlackTV.com and sign up today. The Tim Black Show is news for people who can't stand the news. See you there.